Well, that's it. The RCA Dome is history. They're going to have some sort of fire truck convention here, a private show in a couple of weeks. But this was the last public viewing of the RCA Dome. It goes out with a bang with Supercross. This was a track designed by Chad Reed tonight, and what can you say? He wrote it like it's a track he designed. He left no doubt in the main event tonight.
No, and I think it was a good win also for him. Not only did he design the track, but, you know, Chad Reed's never won here in the Supercross track in Indianapolis, and he loves the dirt. He loves the city. He just has never had that win, and he finally got it. And you know what? Hey, you can say, hey, I won one in the Dome, because it's gone now. But second spot, his not teammate, but factory rider, they're both on Yamahas, Josh Hill, comes away with another podium. He rode strong. I mean, he had the fastest time in that second practice ahead of Chad Reed, and like he talked to last weekend in Atlanta, he had second fastest in Atlanta, so he was due again. It's been a long time since Anaheim that we've seen Hill, but he's been battling some some illnesses that he had, and he's got a new trainer, Ryan Hughes, and that seems to be paying off for him. And what about Andrew Short? He had a rough night in that heat race, but he comes through and gets another podium. And like you said, you know, once you get your first podium, it's a little bit easier, and he got a third tonight.
Now, earlier in the day, Jim, you and I were watching practice very closely. We were seeing the riders try to dial in these very difficult rhythm sections that Chad Reed had drawn for them. But once they all got the jump combinations down, you pointed something out. The ruts were going to get really bad tonight, and that would make all those jump combinations a lot more difficult to do by the time the main event rolled around. And I think that was the biggest difference between Reed and the field tonight.
Well, and you got to remember that in those heat races, you know, when you watch the speed broadcast tomorrow, that you'll see that Kevin Windham had this one section down and Chad Reed didn't do it. But you got to remember that was the heat race, and that was the fourth race of the night. Not like going into a 20-lap main event where there's a lot of bikes that have been on the course, and Kevin Windham was unable to do that rhythm section that he had done beautifully in the heat race. And that section also, that claimed Davey Millsaps. I mean, Davey Millsaps had a second solid, and then he got cross-rutted and whipped him right off the track into the tough box and come away with a 17. So I know that Davey Millsaps had some problems with the ruts tonight.
And as difficult as this track was, Trey Canard makes it look easy again. He leads all but one lap. He got in a little tussle there with Villopoto. Brandon Jessamine got by him for a moment. But basically, Trey Canard is still perfect in his Supercross career.
Yeah, he's the real deal. I mean, he came out in his heat race there, and he won his heat race again. He didn't get that whole shot. Jessamine got that, like you said, and you know, he comes away with his second win. He's got a big lead over second, third, fourth, and also Villopoto. Villopoto rode a strong race. I think that, you know, we talked to him earlier, and he said that I thought maybe it was a little early to make that move, but he said, you know what, I saw the door and I went for it, and it was just a racing mistake. I drove into that one corner, and I got on the front brake too hard, and the bike started to lift, and I caught the tough block on the left-hand side, and it whipped the bike back and caught Trey Canard, and they were both down, and Jessamine comes away. He's leading, exciting racing in that lights class, but, you know, he got back up, and he gained his composure and finished up second and gained some points, but he lost 3 more to the rookie, Trey Canard. And how about Nico Izzy, a rookie? Finishes third in his second race. He's on the box there. I know that the Suzuki guy's got to be happy with that. And I want to go back to the Suzuki guy in the Supercross class making his debut. Yeah. Ryan Dungey, the factory Suzuki rider, also finishing up fourth. And he was up there battling with Windham and all those guys, and he gained a lot of experience. He's going to be happy, you know, going to Daytona and Minneapolis. And he said, you know what? I think I'm a Supercross rider now.
Well, it's going to be darn hard for Roger DeCosta to keep him on a lights bike for 2009 if this ride is any indication of how well he's going to ride in a 450, but that's for next year. We're talking this year right now. We go to Daytona, definitely a lot different scenario than the rest of the tracks on this tour, kind of motocross-like. Then we go to Minneapolis, but those Honda guys were starting to build some momentum. Now they got to rebuild because Chad Reed's back.
Yeah, he is. I mean, you know, he said it, you know, that he was about 69.5%. He thinks he's 72% now, and he's only going to get stronger now. And this was a big win for Chad Reed. Like he said, he goes, you know, I hate not finishing up on the box, and he finished 6th last weekend in Atlanta, and that could have been a lot worse for him coming into here. But it seems like he's got everything on track again because he lapped all the way up to, I believe, 8th spot. Carpenter, you know, he had a big 10-second lead, and you haven't seen that in Chad Reed in a long time.
Yeah, absolutely. He definitely dominated tonight. He enjoyed the racetrack. He built it. Everyone else? Well, it was darn difficult. We won't be with you next week from Daytona, but we will be back in 2 weeks as we go back to Minneapolis, Minnesota, in the Metrodome for the first time in 4 years. Jim will be there. I'll be there. Our cameraman Dave will be there, and we hope you will be too, as we continue Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship here on supercrossonline.com.